So now we're going to discuss how we would operate our slicer. The first thing we need to remember about the slicer is that no one under the age of 18 can operate a slicer by law in Washington State. The next thing we are going to talk about is safety. I always have the machine unplugged until I'm ready to go. The machine only has 3 moving parts. We have a sled here. We have this table that moves up and down to dial in a thickness of whatever we're slicing. And then of course we have the moving blade. When I plug it in, it does have power. The power and the shutoff are in the same place. I pull out for an operational machine. I push in to stop it. Anytime I'm not operating the machine, I want to have the table set at a flush setting so I don't have any possibility of making any mistakes. If I leave the table like this, I could cut myself on the blade. I'm going to keep it at a 0 setting. You can see on the dial here that the flush setting doesn't actually correspond to 0. We're going to set this for our cheese slicing today at about 3 1/4, but my 3 1/4 might be slightly different than yours, and I'll show you why. I'm going to take a block of cheese or whatever it is that I'm slicing, and I'm going to set it up under the weight on my sled. The weight lifts up and pushes down on the thing that we're going to slice, if it's meat or cheese, whatever it is. I'm going to use this to maintain a consistent weight on the cheese so that when I slice, I have a consistent size slice. I'm going to be someplace in the neighborhood of 3 1/4, and I'm going to turn on the machine. I'm going to hold my fingers down on top of the weight to maintain a consistent pressure here. I have to maintain a consistent pressure so that I get a consistent slice, and then I'm going to let the machine slice through. I'm going to do a couple slices here, and I'm going to check my thickness. You're going to ask an instructor about cheese thickness. Meat, the general rule is as thin as you can get it without shredding, but for cheese I have a little bit of a thick slice here. So I'm going to dial this back to about 2 3/4. I'm going to try again. 2 test slices and see how the thinness is, and that's just about right for what we want in the marketplace cafeteria. Every application is going to have a different thickness of whatever it is we're working on. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to let all of the stuff build up on the bottom of the machine. I'm going to slice through. When I've had too much things build up on the bottom of the slicer, or when I'm finished, I'm going to turn the machine off. I'm going to dial it to completely flush. I'm going to unplug the machine, and then I'm going to gather up all of the pieces. You can see that I'm wearing gloves because this is a ready-to-eat food. I'm going to gather up all the pieces and take them off of the bed of the slicer. I'm going to continue on with the slicing as needed. When I'm finished with my project entirely, of course I have the machine unplugged. I'm going to remove whatever food might be left over, and of course this is not waste product, this is to be chopped up or whatever we might be doing with it. And now I'm going to take this machine apart so that we can wash it. I'm going to take the machine apart in sequence. The first thing we do is we loosen this nut here and the whole sled comes off. The second thing we have to concern ourselves with is the blade cover here. I'm going to open up this piece, which houses a sharpener, which we won't use in class. We'll let a manager do that. And then I'm going to take this holding pin, I'm going to release it, I'm going to grab by this guy here, I'm going to pull it off. You can see when this fits on that there's a notch and a notch. And the way it fits on is that it slides into those notches and then back onto that peg. That's how it fits on. So I'm going to take this off. And generally what I do here is I take a dry rag and I very carefully brush all the crumbs off of the machine so I don't have anything here. But you can see that it's still been dirtied by what we were working on. And then I'll take my sanitation rag and I'll scrub all of that cheese remnant, meat remnant, whatever it is, off. Being very careful not to get into that blade area too much. And I'm going to do the blade just a little bit at a time. I'm going to do both sides of the machine when I'm cleaning. The underside as well needs to be completely clean and glistening, totally free of debris. And when we're finished with that, if we need to take one more pass with the sanitation liquid, we can, and then we dry the machine off. When the pieces come out of the washer, we put it back together. We are responsible for doing that. If we were the users of the machine, we put the machine back together so it's ready for the next person. And that's our slicer safety demo.